After everything he had seen in apartment 4B, the flickering not Leo, the memory that no longer matched the map, the cold residue of something neither machine nor organic, Ethan did the only thing he knew how to do. He ran. Not from fear exactly, but from the sickening suspicion that reality itself was beginning to soften at the edges. He needed a pause, a place without glowing doors or whispering walls. And so for a while, he left the city. His aunt owned a small house deep in the countryside, where the trees grew wild and phone signals disappeared before sunset. It was meant to be a sanctuary. Instead, it became something else entirely. The village was small, the kind of place where every resident had lived there longer than memory itself. There were no neon signs or sirens here, only the rustle of leaves, the creaking of floorboards, and the occasional hum of wind between broken shutters. Ethan arrived just before the Perseid meteor shower, when the skies grew clear and restless with celestial traffic. Every night for the first week, he lay under the open stars, trying to forget the echo of Leo's too-perfect voice or the missing scar on his hand. But it wasn't the sky that disturbed him. It was the man who lived at the edge of the village, Mr. Harrow. To the villagers, he was just another local oddity, a relic from older times. He rarely spoke, never shopped, and only emerged from his crumbling stone cottage during meteor showers. He would walk to the highest hill at the forest's edge, stand completely still for hours, eyes fixed skyward, arms always folded behind his back, like a soldier waiting for orders that never came. Ethan first saw him from a distance, a silhouette on the ridge, haloed by starlight. Something about the way he stood, so motionless, so composed, sent a ripple down Ethan's spine. It wasn't reverence, it wasn't wonder, it was communication. Silent, deliberate, two-way. On the fourth night, Ethan followed him. He waited until the villagers had turned in, until the only sounds were cicadas and his own heartbeat. Then he trailed Mr. Harrow's slow ascent into the woods. The man didn't look back once. He moved like he had walked that path for centuries, never misstepping, never hesitating. Ethan kept his distance, weaving through pine and shadow, until the trees opened into a small clearing. There, in the center of the glade, was something Ethan hadn't expected. A stone altar, weathered, moss-covered, older than any building in the village, embedded with an object that didn't belong to any earthly age. It was sleek, metallic, and hummed with a deep, soft frequency. Not loud, but tangible, like a vibration felt in the ribs. Mr. Harrow placed both hands on the device, and a vertical beam of pale blue light extended from its surface, stretching into the night sky like a whisper between worlds. He didn't say a word. But then, as if sensing Ethan's presence from behind the trees, he spoke, not turning, not flinching, just speaking into the air around him. "They're listening," he said, his voice dry as leaves. "But they won't wait forever." Ethan stepped forward cautiously, heart hammering. "Who's listening?" Mr. Harrow turned slowly. For the first time, Ethan saw his face clearly, eyes clouded not by age, but by something behind them, like glass fog from within. Not who, what. There are no names where they come from. Just frequency and purpose. The light from the device grew stronger, shimmering like water under moonlight. "I've been their bridge," Harrow said, his voice growing softer. "Each of us chosen long ago. We were the first. Back when Earth still thought the stars were quiet. But they never were. You don't hear them, boy, not because they're silent, but because we were taught not to listen." And then, without further word, he turned back toward the beam, his figure dissolving into its light like mist at dawn. The beam vanished. So did he. Ethan blinked. The forest stood still again. The device was gone. No trace, no stone, no clearing. Just moss and silence. When he returned to the village, no one remembered Mr. Harrow. Not his name, not his home, not the old house at the edge of the trees. Ethan hiked back to where the cottage should have stood, but found only a collapsed foundation, vines and roots reclaiming stone. as if the man and everything he carried had been extracted from the world like a corrupted file erased from history. That night, Ethan tried to sleep, but his body betrayed him. He woke at 3:13 a.m., trembling, drenched in sweat. There was a sound, deep and steady, like a drum in the earth. No, not a sound. A pulse. It throbbed at the base of his skull. Not painful, but insistent, like a code tapping on locked doors within his consciousness. He stumbled to the mirror and looked at himself. For the first time, he noticed something wrong in his reflection. Not his face, that was still his, but the eyes. They no longer flickered with confusion or fear. They looked alert, focused, as if a part of him knew exactly what was happening and had been waiting for the rest to catch up. He heard it again, louder now. The pulse, dumb, not random, rhythmic, timed, not a symptom. A signal, and deep inside, Ethan finally understood something terrifying and absolute. The replacements had not only begun, they were coordinated. They were timed, they were listening, and somehow, so was he.